Hello, hello, hello. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Vibrant Brain Wednesday. Welcome, welcome, welcome. As you come in here, I would love for you to just say hi, send up some hearts. I always love the hearts. Hearts. And maybe say where you're tuning in from, what brought you here today. Just say hello so that we can commune together. So, Vibrant Brain Wednesdays, I am sharing with those of you here in the Reboot Your Brain Inner Circle bite-sized trainings to help your brain health, to help your emotional resilience and capacity. In short, to help you feel really good on purpose and joyful and fulfilled with your life, to vibrate high so that things are feeling really good. So I'm just seeing everybody coming in. Hi, 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 hi. Drinking my green juice this morning. Thank you to my lovely husband. And what I want to talk about today on Vibrant Brain Wednesday, I'm actually going to do two today. I am going to talk first about seasonal affective disorder because I want you to be able to get out ahead of it. And then I'm going to leave and come back and be repeating last week's about vitamin C and vitamin C IV therapy because I was en route to my vitamin C therapy and there was I was on my headset, or I didn't have my headset, excuse me, and I was in the car and it was hard to hear. And I want to be more present on that topic because it is an important one. So, all right, so let's dive in and talk about seasonal affective disorder, known as SAD. You may be experiencing this and not even realizing that you're experiencing it because it's affecting about 20% of Americans now. But ladies, women are 4 times more likely to experience seasonal affective disorder than men are. And there's a reason for that. The root cause of seasonal affective disorder is low serotonin. And women, the design of our brains is that we make estimated, and it could be higher than this, but we make at least 1/3 less serotonin than men do, just naturally. And then if there's anything that compromises the production of this powerful, self-confident, self-loving neurochemical called serotonin, if there's anything that sabotages that, it can be even worse for us ladies. And the things that sabotage our production of any one of our amino neurotransmitters can be stress. Hello, stress. It can be lack of sleep, can be lack of sunshine, which is where the seasonal affective disorder comes in, can be poor nutrition or poor absorption of good nutrition, could be calorie restriction or dieting. And it actually, low serotonin can be something that you even were born with, that you inherited from your mother, like I did. And especially if you were not breastfed, if you were fed formulas that were deficient in tryptophan, all of these things add up. So low serotonin can be a sudden thing. It can be a single trauma or super, super stressful event, or it can be something that builds up over time, over the course of your whole life, just from tolerating a stressful lifestyle. But either way, what happens is the process of your brain making serotonin gets interfered with. And how it should work is that from your protein foods, and we do get a better source of protein from animal proteins, but of course, let those be clean animal proteins, no hormones, no antibiotics, all of that. And in moderation, or if you're depleted, a little bit higher percentage. For my clients who are doing neurotransmitter repair, I suggest that be about 30% of their diet. If you're not doing neurotransmitter repair, you may be able to do a little bit less of that. But everybody, here's something that's really important. Every body and every brain is different. So you'll know if you're getting enough animal protein if you have good serotonin supplies. And I'm going to talk about what that looks like and what the deficiency looks like. But how it works, getting back to that, how it works is as you eat protein sources, there are amino acids inside of that. A key one is tryptophan that the brain uses to make the neurotransmitter serotonin. And if you're getting everything in ample supply from your diet, and you don't have any of those factors that can sabotage or interfere that I mentioned a minute ago, then your brain has enough molecules of amino acid to make a lot of serotonin molecules and let them flow easily and readily. You feel really balanced and emotionally stable and happy and positive outlook in the now. And then you also have an excess of serotonin molecules that you can store in reserve for when additional stress comes up, or when things get super busy, or when there's a lot of change and transition going on in your life. That's how it should work. You have good supply in the moment, but you also have this reserve to tap into. But if any of those interferences have happened, like your being born depleted, or like a lot of cloudy days, or like a trauma, we've got fires going on in California right now, something like that, a big fear, a big trauma, a lot of stress, maybe not eating quite right, maybe not sleeping like you should. Any of those things can interfere and disrupt the brain's ability to make this biochemical, but also cause you to be tapping into that reserve supply frequently, and therefore zapping your supply, and you run out. And then you start to feel a lot of things, and you become very vulnerable for seasonal affective disorder, or SAD. And I bring seasonal affective disorder up right now because we're in the US anyway, we are a week away, less than a week away from our time change. And that's always, it's not the time change itself that throws us off, although that can throw off sleep patterns, and I'll address that. But this means, this is a sign that our days are going to start getting shorter and shorter and shorter. Really, they already have since the season change, but it's going to get real noticeable in the next couple of weeks. And so I wanted to talk about seasonal affective disorder today, because you can get ahead of that mood shift that happens as we head into winter. So I was saying 20% of Americans are estimated to experience seasonal affective disorder. Going by my client base, I think it's more. I have many, many clients that have done a full repair of their serotonin, get things in great shape, and I warn them, remember next fall, remember when we turn into winter, you may need to go back on your protocol and back on your support for just a few months while it's darker and shorter days. Some of them remember, some of them do not. I had a client who reached out just 2 days ago and said, I don't know what's going on. I feel like a totally different person. I was, feeling so great, and now all of a sudden I just feel like I'm a completely different person. And she she had completed and finished her serotonin support, and we went through process of elimination of what was going on in her life, and realized that she's just very sensitive. So even already, when the days are not, they're a little bit shorter, they're not as short as they're going to get, but it was already affecting her. And so she knew she needed to get back on a very pro-serotonin diet plus supplements. So what do you do if you're experiencing seasonal affective disorder? The first thing is be aware of it. Notice if in the next couple of weeks anything changes, you get more irritable, you have less patience for people, you feel more sad or more depressed, your cravings go up for sugar or starches, or you start to sleep not as well, your sleep gets interrupted. Any of those things are classic symptoms of low serotonin. And serotonin sufficiency, when we have enough, we feel really emotionally resilient. We feel like we can take life just as it comes along. We feel like we have a sense of humor. We can even laugh at ourselves, or laugh at something somebody else does, or laugh at just, life when Murphy's Law kicks in or something like that. It's a real emotional resiliency, an upbeat, an optimism, seeing the glass half full and knowing what's possible for your life. When you're depleted in serotonin, common classic symptoms are, first of all, low serotonin is the root cause of depression and anxiety. Other classic symptoms are feeling irritable or even angry. Whether you act on it or not, it's that internal tension that starts to build up. You also can have cravings for sugar and starch, especially if those cravings are later in the day when there's less daylight and sunlight happening. Sleep can be interrupted. Low serotonin is one of the 3 primary causes of insomnia, whether that insomnia be that you can't get to sleep, or whether it be that you wake up in the middle of the night. Either way, low serotonin is a primary cause, one of the main 3. And you also can have, when you're low in serotonin, ruminating thoughts. like OCD is low serotonin, as well as ADHD. ADD is really low catecholamine, which I'm not talking about here today, but things like dopamine depletion. But if that hyperactivity is in there, that's a sign of low serotonin. And when I say hyperactivity, I mean restlessness. You might not think of yourself as hyperactive because actually you might be getting less done. So you think, how can I be hyperactive? I'm not, busy and super, super productive or anything. But no, it's an internal restlessness, a restlessness that's just there, kind of throwing you off. Pain symptoms can increase with low serotonin and are a part of the cause of things like fibromyalgia, TMJ. So if you notice any changes in the next couple of weeks with jaw pain or sore neck pain or fibromyalgia, same thing with gut issues, because 90% of our serotonin is made in the gut. So if you notice anything going on there with your gut, you could have used up your supply. And especially if all of this, if you think back and you realize, you know what, this happens every November, or this happens every October. I have a client who used to, she's now ahead of it because she understands what's happening, but she and her husband used to have a really rough October every single year, like really rough, like a lot of tension. And we now know it's because her emotional resiliency was just not there yet. So the purpose of this is to help you, of me talking about this today, is to really help you get out ahead of any mood changes, any craving changes, any sleep changes that you notice in the next couple of weeks. And the cure for this is relatively straightforward. It's amino acid therapy or neuronutrition. And that's something at One Whole Health that we include in all of our coaching programs and some of our retreats, because it's such a key foundational piece. Other things that you can do in addition to your neuronutrition plan are you can get a seasonal affective disorder lamp, and you just find these on Amazon or Google. They also make a clock now where it's light that wakes you up, so it simulates waking up with the natural sunshine. And they even have visors that you can put on and get this, get the light to help compensate for the light that they have outside. It's also super critical to exercise. Exercise boosts our serotonin production dramatically. And so get out there. If you can do it in the daylight and the real sunlight, even better. But if not, make sure you're hopping on a treadmill or something like that. You have to go into a very proactive stance on boosting your serotonin right now. Then also eat your protein. Very, very important for boosting your serotonin. And know that there are amino acid. What I'm talking about is the targeted, where it's specifically designed for you. And that's the best way. That's the most effective way to do it. Some people will go with like a total amino product that has all of the aminos in there. Know though that tryptophan is the weak amino acid when it comes to crossing blood-brain barrier. If there's a huge presence of other amino acids, it'll be the last to cross the line, the finish line, and therefore your brain really won't get that much of it. So a complete amino acid blend that has all of the amino acids is going to be limited help, but it's definitely something to add. I recommend for my vegans and vegetarians especially, because you've got a real uphill battle for making serotonin. There's a correlation. You can find lots of research about correlating vegan and vegetarian and depression. So, but this is not about your lifestyle choice or your diet choice, because there's a reason and a purpose for everything. And I know that different diets suit different people and different medical conditions suit different people. The point is get your amino acids and especially your tryptophan so that you can make enough serotonin to avoid seasonal affective disorder. So what I'm going to do is drop in the comments here the link where you can assess your brain chemistry completely free, self-scoring. You'll know if you're likely to be affected by seasonal affective disorder or not. And you could also ask me questions, because this might be a new consideration for you, and I'm here to support you. I am here in devotion to your happiness, to your fulfillment, to your joy, and neurotransmitter depletion just distracts from that. It gets in the way of your happiness and your joy and your fulfillment in life. So be on the lookout. If anything's changing in the next couple of weeks, now hopefully you'll know what it is. You'll say, oh, this must be what she was talking about. And if that happens, I'm here to support. Have a great, great, vibrant Wednesday, guys. See you later.